kind of a funny story because like two of the bunny girls were like walking outside, like coming out of the coming out of the
bunny bar?
The bunny bar. It's called Garuzuba.
The girls' bunny bar.
She stopped and turned around and goes like, you can totally see their butts. Hot.
Speaking slowly so you can understand. Just a couple of teachers just doing a thing. Speaking slowly so you can understand. Just a couple of teachers just doing a thing.
A little bit weird.
Gonna give you that English nice and slow. Gonna give it to you nice and slow. I'm gonna give you that English nice and slow. Gonna give it to you nice and slow. I'm gonna give it to you. Give it to you.
It's a slightly sexual intro song by Space Dragon.
Loving it, of course.
All right, Rich, give us an update. Everyone is on the edge of their seat. Everyone wants to know.
Ooh, what's the what?
Everyone is curious.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen the mysterious tall couple walking around your neighborhood? Are you still stalking them?
I'm still stalking them for sure. Yeah. Well, are they stalking me or am I stalking them?
Who
I'm not
knows?
sure. We're always walking towards each other. It's never like I turn a corner and see them. It's always like I see them from 100 meters away.
So you're walking opposite directions.
Yeah.
You're always like looking at them and they're looking at you.
And we
you
come closer and closer and closer. Yeah.
And have you seen them recently?
Not in the last 10 to 12 days, no.
What time do you usually see them?
9:45 to 10 p.m.
Really late?
Yeah. Yeah, that's also the mystery too, because like I'm usually the only person.
The reason why I bring this up
Yeah.
is because one of our listeners has a theory.
Ooh.
A theory.
I love it.
She thinks that perhaps...
Uh-huh.
Well, hold on. Let me read
Please.
what she wrote. She says, I have a different guess about Big Rich's strange neighbors.
Ooh.
In my imagination, Big Rich's neighbors, who look like a couple, are actually secret lovers.
Ooh.
They both are married and are cheating on their partners.
Ah.
So they are trying not to look like a couple and sneakily having a date.
Could be.
Yeah, especially you mentioned now that it's always late at night.
Right.
And she says, they make a plan to see each other,
Right.
and they say to their family,
Yeah.
I'm going for a night walk for a while to get exercise.
Could be.
That's why they keep a decent distance and try hard not to talk while they're walking together.
That could be.
So that in case
Someone
sees them, they say, no, we don't know each other.
Right. It could be. It is a safe enough distance.
The mystery continues.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, our listener in Hiroshima, who
Thank
sent that theory
It's a good theory.
about the mystery tall couple
It is.
who Rich sees late at night
Yep.
and kind of keeps...
Keeps bumping into.
you keep a kind of a log.
A mental log.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
for sure. For sure. For sure.
you said 10 or 12 days ago, like you've got it marked on the calendar.
You know, it's something that you see periodically.
You're curious.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I think I would feel way more comfortable to say konbanwa to them when I'm with my girlfriend. I would like to see what their response is. And then I would, if I saw them coming, I would ask my girlfriend to be like, hey, let's say hello to them, or let's greet
plan
them
it.
and see what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
She would be comfortable with it,
Okay.
I think. Or like I would face them and go, konbanwa, and just, like not have it so I'm walking and they have the opportunity to pass me.
So you'd stop,
I'd stop. Yeah.
block the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Are there any other people that you're kind of stalking or keeping track of during your long walks?
There's a girls' bar that I walk by.
A
and they're
girl bar, like a
Like,
just a
they're in,
snack
like,
bar kind of thing.
bunny suits that I walk by. every
Bunny
day.
suits.
Yeah. It
Like
opened
Playboy bunny.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's just it
Are
opened.
you following the bunnies?
No, but they're always in the window waving, so I wave to them back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's on my walk home.
So wait, it's a bar where the girls are dressed like Playboy bunnies?
Yeah.
And they stand at the window and wave at people?
Yes. It's right near the Jal City Hotel.
Really?
Yeah, it opened like right when I moved, like 2 years ago.
See, that sounds like something that should be in
Yeah, right. It's
Kokubuncho.
totally
like
out of place.
the entertainment neighborhood.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Near Sendai
I mean,
Station.
it's on my walk home. It's not like I.
and they're like, oh, look, it's the tall guy again.
Yeah.
And
100.
you're like, hey, bunnies.
Yes. Yeah. It's just the way I go home. It's not like, it just.
You're not doing it on purpose.
Yeah, it just opened there and I walk by it.
Obviously, you look forward to waving at the bunnies,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
In the window, the Playboy bunnies.
Yes.
If you're with your girlfriend,
I have been.
would you take a different road?
No, we've.
You wave at the bunnies together.
Wouldn't say that.
You tell her, like, hey, look, there's some Playboy bunnies in this window. I usually wave at them.
Okay, so about a month ago, my girlfriend went somewhere with a friend, and then I was randomly outside near the station with Ben.
Of course.
And she passed by and saw me, and it was right when I was about to go home. So we walked. She had her bicycle, and I walked that street, not thinking, I was just like, this is the way I go. And she's like, oh, I always go this way too. And then it's a kind of a funny story because like two of the bunny girls were like walking outside, like coming out of the coming out of the
bunny bar?
The bunny bar. It's called Garuzu Bar.
The girls' bunny bar.
She stopped and turned around and goes like, you can totally see their butts.
Hot.
And I was like, yeah. And she was just like, why would anybody go outside with like your butt showing?
Right? Because those bunny costumes are like a swimsuit.
Yeah. So she
half their butt is kind of showing. That's what makes it so sexy.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you can. And then.
But you're trying not to look? Like, oh, can you?
It was
She's
weird.
like, wow, you can see their butt. You're like, oh, really? I didn't notice.
Oddly enough, it wasn't a thing for her. For me, like she wasn't don't look or anything. She was just more appalled. Like
appalled, like grossed out?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, she
like,
was
ew, look.
She was like
You can see their butts.
legitimately like, why would a
And
woman
you're
do
like,
that?
oh, I know.
I know.
Isn't it
It's
terrible.
so terrible.
Oh,
Yeah, this was just
I
like
hate it so much.
a month or two ago. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of how it was. And
I know. They must be cold.
I know. Yeah, so that happened, and it's the same place. But she also said, like, this is the way she goes home every day.
So she sees the bunnies often.
Yes.
Does she know that you wave at them?
Let's keep that one under the table.
All right. Under the table? You want to keep it a secret? Does she listen to this podcast?
I'm hoping not.
Hey, it's innocent.
I don't think it would be that big of an issue.
No, they wave at you. It'd be rude not to wave back.
I'm just being polite.
And if it's in the window, then you definitely can't see their bunny butts.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on because we have some questions.
If you've got a question, don't be shy. Cause Abe and Rich are real nice guys. If you've got a question, don't hold back. Cause Rich and Abe will answer that.
Absolutely. If you've got a question, don't be shy.
Yeah.
Don't hold back.
Yeah, we love them.
Please send us your questions. Today's question is kind of a follow-up question.
Okay.
All right. Do you remember a couple weeks ago we got a question from someone called Space Tiger?
Ooh, I do remember.
And this was kind of a serious question. It was about the low birth rate in Japan.
Right.
And let me just read Space Tiger's message.
Tiger.
Thank you for answering my question. I was stunned by your wonderful and insightful ideas. Big Rich's suggestion of social gathering discounts was very nice. And of course, Abe's idea about making condoms illegal.
I love that.
You know, nickname for condom is a rubber.
Right. Even in
say
English.
A rubber, yeah. And Japanese also gogo, right?
Yeah.
So they say those rubbers take away 80% of the good feeling for 99% safety.
That's a good, estimate. I agree.
All right, anyway. Here is another question for you. Thank you, Space Tiger. Sending another question.
Are you a cousin of Space Dragon?
Must be.
Must be.
He said, we know you are teachers. You must have taught millions of students so far.
Almost.
Millions, perhaps billions.
That's a lot.
For me. Okay. From average students, good students, sexually attractive students.
Where is this going?
All the way to what the fuck are you doing here, students?
Good analysis. Yeah, that is the range.
Yeah. All kinds of students, I think, is what Space Tiger means.
Right.
And his question is, who do you remember the most? Both positive and negative experiences.
Okay, I have multiple answers to that.
Who do you remember the most?
But I
out of
have to
all your
say-
students?
It does not matter the level. The people that I remember the most are the people who are most genuine.
Genuine,
Yeah.
right? People who are open and honest
Yeah.
about themselves.
Especially the people who share their lives with me are the ones that I remember the most.
Who share their life with you, meaning
Yeah.
they tell you honestly
Just
what
honestly what they do. Those are the students who I make sure I like, hey, what's your plan for tomorrow? And then next week I'll be like, oh, how was the Nanda,
you keep a kind of ongoing dialogue.
yeah. Like, oh, you visited your grandma last weekend because you told me before you visited her. So, hey, how's your grandma the next week?
Right.
So it's always the students who I can have like this weekly dialogue of keeping up with their life.
You taught them for for example, 2 years,
Yeah.
and you felt like you knew everything that was happening in their life for
Right.
2 years.
Right.
So, of course, you remember them.
Right. Right.
Whereas there are some students who don't really seem like they don't want to share
Right.
anything personal
Right.
with you.
Right.
So you forget them.
Well, there's nothing to remember.
There's nothing to
mean,
remember, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's okay. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying, like, I need the information about someone's life to remember their name and them.
Right.
So I remember the students who tell me something because I can connect it.
Okay. Now that sounds like a very positive thing.
Right.
How about negative experiences, like, bad students or students that you didn't like? Do you remember some of them?
I remember faces for sure.
If you don't like a student in a Kiowa, chances are they just won't take your class.
Yeah, that's why this is a
So,
difficult question. It's like,
I remember specific situations. Like, I remember one student I had who was very overconfident.
right.
It seemed like she thought her English was much better than it
Right.
was.
Right.
And she was doing like a self-introduction, as you do at the beginning of a class.
Right.
And there's, 3 people in the class and me, so 4 people at a table. And she was going on and on something about her work, but I couldn't understand what she was talking about.
Right.
And the other people, obviously, also, we were all lost.
Right.
And she kept saying, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, not really.
Right.
And eventually I had to just stop her
Right.
and say, okay, just stop. We're going to move on,
Right.
and we'll come back and try and figure out what you were talking about.
Right.
I said something like that.
Right.
And she got really pissed off.
Really.
And no joke, she sat at the table and threw her pen on the table and picked it up
Wow.
for like the rest of the class. She was just going like this.
Oh, wow.
Pick it up.
That's really weird.
Pick it up. Pick it up. Like, she was just throwing her pen on the table and picking it up.
That's weird.
It was so uncomfortable.
Right.
I'll never forget that.
Nothing really bad like that has happened to me.
Ever? Really?
I don't feel like it. No. I mean,
But you've had some, I remember when I worked in the school where you work,
right.
sometimes you'd get like kind of pervert guys.
Oh yeah, that's happened.
Like, remember that one old guy who was missing teeth?
Yeah.
And he was always like, oh, you're a nurse. That's so sexual.
Yeah. Yeah, that
You're like,
happened.
hey, man, settle
Yeah,
down.
settle
This is an
down.
English class.
Yeah, I've had that. Or, I mean, it's weird. It's a good question, but it's like I don't feel like so much. I don't have so many bad stories. Like,
Yeah. And for me, I remember all my students since 2020
Yeah.
because all my students are podcast listeners.
right.
So it's like they know me
Yeah.
quite well
Yeah.
before they become my student.
Right.
And then like they're very willing to be genuine
Right.
because they already know so much
Right.
about me.
Right.
So for this like negative side, I have to think all the way back to
Yeah.
Kiowa days.
It's just Japanese in general tend to be more shy and reluctant. Like this is not a
Yeah.
negative thing. It's just like
See, I don't have that at
Yeah,
all with my
yeah.
students because, I've done like almost 1,000 podcasts.
Right.
And I share a lot of personal and embarrassing
right.
stories about myself.
And yeah, so everybody already knows you before
Yeah,
they take your
it's
lesson.
very different than when
Yeah.
you get a new student in a Eikaiwa where you're literally saying like, "Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
My name is Rich."
Yeah, that's weekly for me.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
you have these experiences.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's awkward. Look, like I understand exactly how I would feel if I was a new student. Like it's hard. And so you just have to be like really open and understanding of like they're nervous.
Yeah, and also for them, it's awkward
Yeah.
because what is the appropriate amount of
Yeah.
personal information
Yeah.
to share
To a stranger.
to a stranger?
Yeah.
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 So
And it's like, yeah, I mean that you nailed it. It's like how, what are you going to open up about? And if there's other students, it's like, I don't want another stranger to know I had a fight with my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, definitely, I've had situations in classes where I know things about students or students know things about me, and we don't talk about it when another student comes. So
Right.
there's a lot of like
For sure.
confidence and confidentiality situations that
Yeah.
I have to think about as an English teacher. So
Right.
you have to always think.
One really great memory I have from Eikaiwa days, which influenced my podcasting, is I had this group of people on Saturdays. Every Saturday, almost always the same members
Right.
would take my news class.
Right.
And that's where this whole strange news idea was kind of born. It's because we had so much fun.
Right.
So I'd try to choose the most wacky and strange news stories.
Yeah.
And we had this great group of people. I hope some of them are podcast listeners. I'm not sure. If any of you original news crew, hi. Anyway, well, yeah, I just remember having so much fun and laughing so much with them and having these weekly classes. I really looked forward to that class and all the interesting characters.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
Everyone in the class was unique and funny in one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole reason why I do strange news in GoGo for years now, I've been doing it, is because I want to bring that feeling back of
Right.
like having these wacky news stories and using this funny stories in English together.
Right.
Yeah. And sexually attractive students, what's that about? Hey, Space Tiger, settle down.
Heyo.
We're professional teachers.
Yeah. Heyo.
Yeah, we don't see that kind of thing. Everyone looks the same in my eyes.
Yeah. Everyone is beautiful.
Okay, hold on. And they said something really nice. They said, you guys are the greatest teachers. You guys are the goats.
What? The goats?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, goat is an animal,
I know.
but goat, to be the goat,
The goat.
it's GOAT, greatest of all time.
Get out of town. I've
they
never
said.
heard that before.
You've never heard goat?
No.
Yeah, it's used a lot in sports.
Is it?
Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
I don't really watch
We
sports.
say Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure.
So someone who's like the best in all of history.
Greatest of all time. The
So-
goat.
Space Tiger thinks that we're the GOAT.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Space Tiger.
Thank you.
All right, and if you have a question, you can come to my website, 55freebird.com. You can reach us on Instagram or X, FBE Teacher Talk. And please come to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, and write a little review if you can. That really helps us. Also, you can comment on each episode on Spotify. So go ahead and leave a comment on Spotify and, give us a good rating or tell a friend or something. Help us out. Help us help you.
Yeah, help us help you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
See you
you.
next week.
Bye-bye.